right, shalom, 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 shalom. It's hot as hell, but I like it like this rather than a rainy day and I get sick easily. First and foremost, I'm going to say call on Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakwadash, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the God of gods, the husband and the lover of the children of Israel. There is no other God, wood or stone besides him, only the ones that he made, which is Yahushai, the holy archangels in heaven, and the lower level Israelites on earth. That's it. Much love to him. King of Kings, Lord of Lords, God of gods. I love him. And much love to his only begotten son, Yahushai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ and other names that have no power. And he died for the children of Israel to cover his blood over them, the chosen, that they will come back into the new covenant and be saved. The only nation granted for salvation, Israel. Much love to the beautiful Israelites that are the chosen children of Israel, whoever they may be among the children of Israel. Much love to the beautiful prophets, the new covenant prophets, and the brothers that's in the new covenant truth. Much love to you, brothers. They do everything in their power to give you proper breakdowns. They give you the latest up-to-date news reports. They do everything in their power to show you how about Shem Yahushai, that they love him. Much love to those brothers. Much love to the sisters, the Akwat. And whether you got a man or not, you still feel law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh. You listen and you learn in silence to your best of your abilities. Nobody is perfect. And I came out here without a title. I don't know. I don't even know what to talk about. I would just talk about... Dang, I did come out here so fast. I didn't have a title. I didn't even have a theme. I didn't really prepare for today. I put everything I had into my lesson last night. And, it didn't get no traction as usually it doesn't. And I had to recorrect my reel because I don't know whether they gonna try to give me a warning for it or not. And then I recorrected it and it's just still slow on, people and views and stuff. It's not a lot going around. The word, a lot of people really don't care about it. And we can just talk about the famine of the word and how people are easily sidetracked. They got the 10-second span, to where, they see something that they like, for a moment. And then next thing you know, the next best thing comes along and then they move on to that. The world is right now is nothing but bread and circus, especially here in America. You can be easily distracted by different things and different knowledges and easily be stuck on certain things or, just constantly moving around and around from one place to another, not really having a truly stable, belief system or any type of faith. You just, whatever the wind blows, you got a lot of people like that. And, the word isn't really as big as it's supposed to be. It's coming around, but it's touching. I can say it's touching the people that it's meant to touch. And for the rest of everybody else, they are blinded and, they are sidetracked and they see the word. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I like it. And then as they are sidetracked to something else. They don't stay on it. It's not the end all be all. They're not locked in. They're not interested. They're not getting no breakdowns. They don't even give the prophets a chance. Some of them look on YouTube. They look at them online and then log off because it's something that they took curiosity in, but they're not interested in. So, you got a lot of people like that. But like Yahweh said, the election, or the elect have obtained it, but the rest were blinded. That is true. You can be easily blinded by anything that the Lord may throw at you. There's so many different temptations, so many different pleasures, so many different things in the world that can get you sidetracked, and you can just forget about the word completely. But that's what the famine of the word is coming in at. One day the word ain't gonna be here. And it's funny how the reverse effect is going to happen when the word is no longer here And that's when people are going to be looking for it, because it's going to be so much, I'm going to get that precept, it's going to be so much destruction, so much chaos, to the point to where so many of these dark prophecies and all these sayings is manifesting, and a lot more and more of our people are going to be looking for the word. They're going to be looking for the people that used to talk about it on the streets, the street prophets. They're going to be looking for it on YouTube. But guess what? They're going to take all of that down. They're going to take all of it down. All of it is going to be gone. Hell, they planning on crashing the internet itself. You know, they don't want the internet to be up and running to where these people are becoming more and more focused on the word, because soon everybody's going to want to have that word, because the word is given to you for salvation. Now, it's only for the Israelites, but, you know, the Lord may cast mercy and protection under other nations that may come to worship, you know, and take servitude, you know, and acknowledge Yahweh as the one and only supreme, you know, as they should. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned with that, that's the funny part about it, is that it's going to be the word that's missing more than anything. The understanding, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding shall be the stability of time, strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is a treasure. So with that being said, with this being a treasure, this is actually going to be a literal, the word literally is going to be a treasure. So it's going to be hard to find. Treasure is hard to find. You know, certain booby traps, you know, you see them movies like Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull or whatever. Certain booby traps, certain things, you know, that he had to go through to acquire the treasure, and all kinds of peril, him dodging death and seemingly not to get hit by it or to die. But that's the narrator. You know, you're going to have a lot of people that's going to be looking for the truth, looking for the prophets, you know, looking for the 144,000 for refuge and for protection. And a lot of them might not find it in them times. Some of them might find it in those times. But a lot of people that once sidetracked it and didn't even bat an eye for the word, they going to be looking for it during those times. But it's going to be so much chaos, so much hell and destruction, that how are they going to be able to find the word and all of that destruction, all of this chaos? So I can get that real quick. Let me go on and get this out. This sticks perfectly. Come on, man. All right, it says, behold, in Amos chapter 8, verse 11 through 12, it says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, even though it's going to be famines for that, but you'll still be able to find this somehow, some way, whether you get that mark, you know, or you happen to come up on some food here and there, you know, you'll still be able to find food and water. But it says, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but a hearing of the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, from the realms of the internet, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. So it's going to be, that is going to be a famine. It's not going to be to stay of bread or to stay of water. You'll be able to still find it, even though it's going to be in a scarcity. But the word is the most important thing, because it can grant you salvation. And a lot of people is going to hear this, and a lot of people is going to want to find it. And if they do find the prophets will determine through the Spirit of Yahweh whether they going to save these people or they going to lead these people to be damned. You know? So we can read some of Amos 2. And Amos chapter 8 all the way down, it says, thus saith Yahweh, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai showed unto me, behold, a basket of summer fruit. And he said to Amos, what seest thou? And I asked, it says, a basket of summer fruit. Then he said to me, Yahweh said to me, the end is come. The end is come upon my people of Israel. I will not pass by them anymore. Meaning that this is almost, we at the end of our slavery. We're at the end of our suffering. We're at the end of our oppression. We're at the end of our captivity, you know. So the Lord is not going to punish us anymore after this, you know. It says, and the songs of the temple shall be howlings in that day, saith Yahweh. There shall be many dead bodies in every place. They shall cast them forth in silence. There's going to be a lot of dead people after the wake and after the collapse of the dollar. And during these race wars and these race riots, during those times, after those times, there's going to be so many dead bodies. Ain't nobody going to want to come into the city. Ain't nobody want to go come into these parts or these zones that they can't even quarantine the zones. It's just that you ain't going to want to pass through these cities because the bodies is going to produce nasty plagues. And like the Lord said, they shall be cast in the street like dung. And, you know, dung is another word for, defecation, you know, crap. And nobody is going to be able to bury these bodies. And from now to where the ambulance will be able to come pick up a body, and the coroners, you know, and the morgue and the police come and do investigation, because the money collapses, ain't nobody going to be able to do that. Hold on, this is so annoying. Don't nobody care. Hurry up and get these cars out of here. I don't know what's going on, and I don't really care. Irritated. It says, and hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land fail. So he talking to the white man and his rulership, and how he heap up all the treasures, he heap up all the resources, all the water, everything, all to himself, and he would let the poor starve. He would let his own people die in these coming events, and he would let the land just be desolate. And he will hoard all of this up to himself. So while everybody's over here fighting for water, like the movie of the Book of Enoch or Mad Max, you know, or one of my favorite animes, it's called Violence Jack. It's called Evil Town, Violence Jack. And in the story of Violence Jack, it was a horrible, I think it was called the Kanto earthquake. And the Kanto earthquake was so bad that a lot of people, the city had fell into the ground. So it was a lot of people that was trapped in these mall areas. There was a lot of people that was trapped in these places, and when it fell into the ground, it buried them all in. So they was in a power struggle and in a fight to survive. And on one side, you had the women that was delicate and defenseless, and then on the other side, you had the men. And then you had some transgender men on the other side that was attacking and raping the women and killing them and destroying them, you know. And it was a power struggle for food and water and rations. And then Violence Jack is like this evil. No, it's not. He like an anti-hero spirit liberator. And the story Violence Jack is Devilman. I don't know if people know about Devilman, but Devilman is pretty crazy. Stories written by Go Nagai, you know, which are pretty good. I love his stories because he don't hold no boundaries. But other than that, you know, Evil Town is about a post-apocalyptic event and explains just what will happen when there is no more law, there is no more protection, you know, no more defense against anything, and people can do whatever they want. So this right here, for not going off subject, that's just another apocalyptic, it was a TV show anime series that you can watch, but You know, aside from that fact, while everybody's over here tearing each other apart for resources, those that's left alive, you know, to suffer, you know, because the Lord got different punishments for everybody that don't take that, they don't take the word, and they denounce Yahweh, you know, even the Israelites along with the rest of the world, because these elites is going to trigger a worldwide famine. It's going to be set up through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and through his hand, he going to force these elites to do it, and it's going to be made that way. So food is disappearing and all that, as they were to say, and famines is coming. It's because they made it happen, you know. So when he talking about the poor, he actually talking about the Israelites, because they're on the bottom, you know. But ultimately, this is what the elites are gonna do. They ain't even gonna do it to their own white people. So you know, they're gonna be sitting up there giving a toast and celebrating off these people's death, people dying from radiation, people dying from the explosions, people dying from the wars, being slaughtered, cities being blown up. They even got soldiers that are hypnotized through the army to go and fight and protect and give their lives for them, and they accept their position, you know. These soldiers, like right now, like I was listening to King Yahweh the Maccabees right now, last night, and he was saying that they was kicking out a lot of black people from the army, and to get prepared for this NWO, New World Order, and to prepare for the World War III. You know, they don't need the blacks on to fight for them anymore. They feel like they got their technology and everything set up, and they only recruiting they people for this last stand per se, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, they gonna be eating fine bread. They gonna be eating real hamburgers, real meat. You know, right now they swapping everything out for 3D printed meat, for 3D printed meat and bioengineered meat, bioengineered plants. Everything is being swapped out. The real stuff is being swapped out for the fake goods. So they hoarding all of that up. They hoarding everything up, storing it underground or on another planet, you know, because they plan on flying to another planet, even though that's uncertain, because they don't know space. They don't know what's past the atmosphere of the earth. They have never truly charted, you know, the waters above. They don't know nothing about that, but they're willing to take their chances. And then the majority of them is going to be underground. They're going to be watching you while splitting up a pizza. They're going to be watching you while they drinking the finest wines, trying to celebrate a victory, even though it ain't no victory. It's a hollow victory, but they feel like they won, and the Lord is going to allow them to feel like they won. He's going to allow it, but he's the one that's in control. So guaranteed, when the time comes, they're going to be fighting and killing each other for resources and all that, and they're going to be getting invaded from the outside for people that's trying to break into these vaults in these underground cities, even though it's kind of hard because these underground cities are miles deep underground. They are deep underground. They're designed to the point to where they got these trucks and these different avenues, like streets up here, but they don't have nobody walking around. They don't have no, they probably got like signs and all of that, but you know, like signs and different addresses where these trucks to go, but they miles underground. It's like mazes. You'll die before you even reach some of these votes. You got to exactly know where they at in order to get to these votes. And even to crack them and to break them open is even a greater challenge. But it's going to happen. You know, it is going to happen. They done showed movies about it. They got a TV series about it. I forgot what it was. But it was a TV series about these votes and how people was breaking in them, and then how people was breaking out of them because they realized that despite the nuclear bombs being dropped and these different catastrophes happen, humanity still survived, and the new world, the world was going on without these people, you know. And they trying to sugarcoat it and remix it in a way to where you won't understand. But if you read the Bible, you understand that the kingdom of heaven came to the earth. The Israelites, they came back on the earth and they took over everything, and now the whole world and the new world is being built. And guess what? The elites are still underground hiding out. And they realizing that the world is moving on without them, and they just stuck in this safe, you know, expecting the worst, but everything ended up getting better. Everything got bad, but then everything got worse. So, no, everything got worse, but then everything got better, you know. So it was like that, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, who he fed? At the end of the day, that's exactly what's going to happen. They got a hollow victory, and all the Israelites that they killed, and they even killed their own people. And here's a eye opener to those soldiers that sitting up there trying to protect their nation and all that. They don't care about y'all. Y'all just meat to the meat grinder. Y'all cannon fodder. Y'all human shields for them. And you're getting paid all this money and you living all this comfortable life. So when it's time for you to be called to arms, you'll be able to die for them. It's funny. So this is an eye opener to those soldiers. And they even gonna realize that at the last moment that they've been duped and that the elites didn't care about them. They served their purpose, and they're gonna leave a lot of these soldiers and lock them out of these boats and leave them on the ground. So when the bombs go off and Yahweh Shai and the angels is all fighting and all of that, and they call for an evacuation for the elites to go underground or to go into space or whatever, they're gonna leave a lot of these soldiers, and these soldiers gonna be caught up into killing and I serve my country, sir, all of this crap. And they gonna end up dying in the war. They're gonna end up getting destroyed by these angels, and if not, you got the nuclear bombs coming, and then if not, you're gonna get destroyed by an angry mob of people. So this hypnotism thing is a very, very real thing. Hypnotism is very, very real. Hypnotism, brainwash is a very real thing. You tell somebody the lie, long enough, they believe it. It's a very real thing. So you got a lot of these Edomites that's, even though they know that their superiors are corrupted, they willing to fight and die for them. Their cause is no longer their own. I had a dream about that too, about how I was there in the dream and we was trapped, and it was a dream that was kind of like Stephen King, The Mist movie, and I guess my brain had reenacted that, and I was in the dream, and I was laughing at a soldier because I told the soldier, you fought for a cause that wasn't your own. Now look at you now. Now you here stuck with the rest of us, and what you fought for was nothing. It was worth nothing. So he had jumped down, and he had wanted to come fight me, but people was holding him back, and I was sitting up there laughing because these soldiers that served these countries and that served they masters deem them as expendable. They are expendable, man. They cannon fodder. They food. They meat for the meat grinder. They are for judgment. They are the first ones that are going to go for judgment and to be destroyed, whether in Armageddon or during the collapse of these cities. Trust me. And they are so hypnotized and so locked in, to the point to where they don't even realize how much everything that they strive for was worth nothing. It was worth nothing. So we can get a couple of more of this, like the Lord said, they swallow up all the resources. So all the resources are present. They just not present for you to grab. So the day to time when the TV is no longer a privilege to where you can watch TV as free as you want, you ain't gonna have that. You ain't gonna the time where you can hop into your car and you can slide off. You could go drive wherever you want. They gonna take away that. Even gun-toting dudes that like weaponry and like guns and all that, it's going to be a time to come to where they're going to take away the guns. You're going to have to fight with swords and all that and sticks and stuff. It's going to get that bad for everybody that's left down here. You're not going to be able to have no water, no drops of water. Water is going to be rare to find in these times to come. You're going to have people that's trying to look for different resources. They're going to be looking for animals. Animals gonna be dead. They not gonna be there no more because the animal is like, a lot of these animals are great food resources, and reproduction, all of that is gonna be swept off the land through disease and chaos. You're gonna be lucky to find anything to eat. You're gonna be eating bugs. You're gonna be eating lizards. You're gonna be eating spiders. I'm trying to tell you, you're gonna be eating things that you swore up and down that you wasn't gonna eat. You're gonna eat it. Or it was even a time to where the Lord had the whole city and the children of Israel, they was on a famine, so they was eating cow dung. They was eating cow dung, and they was eating that to survive, and it was as a punishment because the Lord was angry. He even had the prophets eating it. But he made it better for the prophets rather than just giving straight cow dung to them. They made it like cow dung cakes and all of that, But for the rest of the Israelites, they was eating boo-boo pretty much. And he was that angry. He was angry. The Lord was angry. He took it easy on the prophets, but they still wasn't exempt from the judgment. They just, they had an extremely lighter judgment for them. But for the people, they have to eat straight boo-boo, like real. So it's going to be even that going down. Even that is going to come back. You're going to have a lot of resources and things. You can't even, they're going to be blocking off the stores with soldiers. The soldiers is going to be like, you ain't got that mark, you can't get in. And people going to be sitting out there starving in the street like bums. You ain't got that mark, you can't get an apartment. You ain't got that mark, you can't what's another thing you could do with that mark, man? You can't even go to certain zones because everything gonna be broke down. You ain't even gonna have the privilege to travel, and if you don't got that mark, they gonna be after you to catch you at some point and make you get that mark. So, it's gonna be a lot that the Lord is gonna have the white man take away. So that's why he says that. It says, hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, to children of Israel. And right now we've been in this like this. So it's like, what's the point of getting a mark? What's the point of getting a mark when they take everything away? We done had everything taken away from us so many times, to the point to where it's like now that the society collapsed and everything collapses, it's just another day for the children of Israel. It's not even that much of a challenge, but for a lot of Israelites that do live in abundance, because we all vary in our lives, they're not going to know what it's like for the Lord himself to actually sanction that to happen, and for him to allow the white man to take all of it away. Because a lot of us is so broke, we living below our means already. I'm living below my means already, and plus because of my diet, and because of me getting in shape and focused on my body, I'm eating in scarcity already. I'm already training my mind for these scenarios already, And naturally, I'm doing it because it's going to keep me healthy. But little do I know, the Lord already got me in training for all of this already. So just in case he allowed me to survive, I can survive a famine. I can survive this. If he allowed me to, I can survive this disease. I can survive going on some time without no water. I can survive these things until the Lord bring me to the 144,000, or he give me the power, or he bring me to the Israelite camp started in the new covenant. This is what's going to happen to me. So I'm already going to be pre-prepared and already in training, compared to the rest of society that's so dependent and coping so hard on society itself that they're not going to be able to deal with none of this shit that's coming. They're not going to be able to deal with it, and a lot of people going to starve, and a lot of people going to be sitting up there eating each other. You feel me? The zombie epidemic, the cannibalistic epidemic, that's going to return. People going to be cooking their kids. People going to be eating dogs. People going to be eating cats. It's going to be to the point to where every single resources that you did not value, that you was like, oh, I'm disgusted, I'd never do that, you're going to be doing that. So it's like, until that's gone. Because people going to panic. They going to take everything. They going to consider everything a resource. Pigeons, all kind of stuff. All kind of different animals that wasn't on the menu, they going to be on the menu until the disease and the pestilence kick in and kill the animals too. And then you ain't going to have no food resources. You're going to be like... And that's going to break the dependence of the children of Israel from the white man. They're going to depend on Yahweh. And the Lord going to still save some of them, even when the doors of mercy close. That's real, man. It says, saying when will, and that's if they know the real name. And like they said, even if you got a faith of the mustard seed, you'll tell the mountain to move and it's going to move. That's when those times are going to matter. That's when it's going to happen. Because some people going to remember, like, what's his name? Like, I forgot his name. I know the Lord's name, but, I know his son's name, but I forgot it, man. Because they going to forget. Even the little knowledge that the Lord got, he going to take it away. What it say? Even the little that a man got, he going to take it away. He going to take it away. That's what he talking about. You ain't even going to be able to remember his name. And then some of them going to remember their name because he going to have mercy on them. Oh, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, in the name Yahushai. His son named Yahushai. I know the name. I know the true name. But him saying that, he got to be careful because the people around him, you feel me, they wicked too. They going to want to know the name too. And if the Lord chooses to save him and he don't save nobody else, his life is potentially going to be in danger because when they called on him, they didn't get the name. Or he could be targeted and he could be killed for knowing that name and saying it out loud. And they going to want to turn him in for resources. That's how serious it's going to get. It says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, and making the ephah small, and the shekel great. It says, and falsifying the balances by deceit. So everything is rigged, all the way down to your food, to the way the economy is designed. All this, it don't have to be like this. It's because the people that run the show want it to be like this. This is how they want it. And this is to keep oppressing the children of Israel to the point to where they destroy them. It's that simple. So all of this stuff that's going on in the news with great inflation, prices skyrocketing. Oh, we at war. Oh, World War III is on the horizon. Oh, we about to go take this. We about to take that. Oh, we about to change the laws. All of this is being changed because Esau wants it to be changed. He know that he coming out of rule, so he trying to keep his grip on power for as long as he can. He trying to keep it permanently, actually. It says that we may buy the poor of the silver and the needy for a pair of shoes. It says, yeah, and sell the refuse of the wheat. So, you know, people going to be selling themselves. People going to be selling women. People going to be selling children for food and for goods. They going to be trading them off. Oh, don't let you be no woman. You know, don't let you be no femboy. They going to see you as some, because the resources and the things and the pleasures and the things that they going to have that they got right now is going to be in scarcity. So let them see a feminized boy running around here looking all innocent and clean and beautiful and stuff. Let them see a beautiful woman running around here, you know, and it's hard for her to hide her beauty because she's so beautiful. She stand out from the crowd. She's just too clean. She's just too beautiful. They're going to look at her as a giant $100 bill, and they're going to trade her off for different currencies, whether it be jewelry, whether it be water, whether it be food, or it be a car, you know, or be gas, because you're going to be having different organizations that have this stuff, but they going to only want to be able to trade for what you got. So people going to be going into their gold reserves. People, because the dollar ain't going to be no more. It's going to be no more. So they're going to be going into their gold reserves. They're going to be trading their Bugattis, their Ferraris. They're going to be trading their guns. They're going to be trading their children, anything that they got to survive, man. Especially these women. Them the ones that's going to really be in trouble. Y'all be sitting up here with the nice butt implants, or you're going to be sitting up here looking all beautiful and just fly with your ornaments and all that during the collapse. Oh, no, they're going to be running and they're going to be in hiding. And men is going to catch them and sell them for goods and sell them for different commodities. And whatever happens to them, they're going to be sex slaves, because the dynamics between the male and female power is going to be knocked off balance, you know? So what was in balance right now that the white man had created is that the woman is equal to a man. So when a collapse comes, it ain't going to be like that. It's going to be man first, woman second. It ain't going to be like that no more. You know, I love women and all that. You know, they got their little, you know, the Lord had granted them a lot of leadway, and you gave them privileges and all that. But they have taken all that for granted. They have abused that power. They look at what they've done with that power. Look at what they've done to society itself. They got a huge part to play in all this too, by following this oppressor, following this white man. They got a huge part to play in all this, and they're gonna suffer greatly. So the more beautiful you are in the end times and in the great collapse, you're going to be considered a resource. You're going to be considered something to trade. You're going to be considered that $100 bill that's going to be able to get this man and some of his kids and all that everything that they need to eat. You're going to have some wives sacrificing themselves to make sure that their kids survive and their man survive. And that's if, and they're not going to survive. They're not going to survive. It just makes it look like they can survive and struggle, but they don't got the spirit of Yahweh. They don't have the covering. You don't have the covering. How you going to survive in these days? You're going to need a miracle to survive. Yahweh is that miracle. You're going to need a miracle from the Lord to survive in these days. It's going to be that serious. Like I said, and like the man said, and the man shall eat the flesh of his own arm, meaning that he going to eat his own kids. They going to eat their own kids. You ain't got nothing to trade. You ain't got no food in them. Your kid going to look like a giant piece of bacon to you. You know, he going to look like a sloppy Joe sandwich, man. He going to look like the next steak that you going to cook. Because people it's going to tap into their primalistic ways. You know, what they call the man, the creature. That's what they call a man. Another name for the man is a creature, son of man, son of dust. You still a part of the world. So you can be, because you love the world so much, you became a part of it. So now you think like the animals think. And now natural selection is going to come to the human society. Survival of the fittest is going to come to them like it never was before. Whether you got to let one child live and kill the weaker child. That's how the animals do it, and it's just another day for them. Whether you got to eat some of your kids to survive because there's too many of them, so you can replenish yourself and you can survive and take care of the ones that are strong enough to make it. That's how it's going to be. These some real dark times that we're going to enter into, and I'm not going to hold back on saying any of it. I'm not going to hold back at all, you know? Hell no. How you doing? You believe in the Bible? Hey, you know you're an Israelite according to the Bible? I said, you know you're Israelite according to the Bible? You're not gonna hear me because it's truck. I said, you know you're Israelite according to the Bible?
I know my what according to the Bible?
I said, do you know that you're Israelite according to the Bible?
According to the Bible.
Well, it's gonna be like that. So, oh well. But you know, these times are gonna get darker. These times are gonna get harder for those of them that take the mark, or those of them that denounce the Lord. It's gonna get way harder. Or you don't know who the Lord is and you done forgot his name, or you happen to know his name and you still got denied because it's something that you done did. It can happen like that. But like the Lord say, I'm full of mercy and long suffering, and I'm peaceful. So overall, for the Israelites, they gonna have a chance at salvation. Even a lot of these Edomites, a lot of people that know that name, they gonna have a chance to be spared. Israelites got salvation. The rest of the nations and a few people that know that name, according to them other nations that know that name and they not bad people, the Lord is gonna spare them. So you're gonna have a lot of survivors. This is what the elites got everything confused. Is that the world is still gonna be there even after the nuclear event. It's still gonna be there. People gonna still survive. They're gonna still make it. Not all of the cities are gonna be blown up in the flaming deluge. It's gonna be certain places that the Lord gonna target it, and it's gonna be certain zones where people could go to where they still alive. But that right there is a needle in the haystack. So this is Russian roulette game. Wherever these bombs gonna land, they gonna land, bro. So it's at the end of the day, it's not safe for anybody on the surface. But it's not to say that a lot of people is gonna survive. A good amount of people gonna survive. They're gonna survive, bro. And that's what's gonna surprise the elites. They even considering it as an option. They considered it as an option, and they keep making movies and all that about it. TV shows about it. How they know that they not gonna win in the end. They can't beat Yahweh. They can't beat the Lord. The Lord is only doing it. The Lord is only letting them forward for as long as he wants them to. Only he that will only let until he be taken out of the way. That's real, man. So with that being said, the Lord gonna pull them out the way. The Lord is gonna get them out of the kingdom. They done dethroned themselves by them choosing these bunkers, and by them choosing to go underground and do everything that they did. They done dethroned themselves, and the Israelites is just gonna take the throne. It's that simple. Because there ain't gonna be no control on the surface. Ain't none of that. They're going to try to keep their governments and keep their systems underground. But they no longer on that throne. They don't run the world no more. And that's when the Israelites the Lord going to put them right back on the throne. There you go. It was that simple. I done chased them out of here. So it says Yahweh have sworn by the excellency of Jacob. So this is for the elect, and this is for those of us that keep calling on the Lord. That's that believe in the new covenant, that went inside and that keep praying, man. We ain't perfect, but we pray to be spared. We want to be saved too. So it says the Lord has sworn by the excellency of Jacob. Surely I will never forget any of their works. That's right. The Lord said anything that you do and while you down here, any act that you do in my name, any righteous thing that you've done, you go to the highways and byways, you keep making videos. The Lord said, I'm not gonna forget them, because there's people that know the name of the Lord and they do nothing at all. They don't pray. Well, they probably pray, but that's all that they do. You know, some people, that's probably all that they need to do. But some people if it's in their capabilities to do something, they should do something. They should tell somebody. They should spread the word. Don't be ashamed. Don't hide it. Tell people. You know, you don't have to be loud like all the. How you doing, bro? Hello. I just wanted to ask you something real quick. You believe in the Bible? You believe in the Bible?
Yeah.
You believe in the Lord? You know you're an Israelite according to the Bible?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're an Israelite according to the Bible. You know the Lord's name? His name is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and the name Yahushai. I just tell people as they go past, you know, give them the word. Right now we got this thing. I'm gonna just get straight to it, let you go. They got this thing to where we got this guy, this first black guy, to get a brain implant chip. So now they pushing towards a cashless society. One day they'll have this on market to where they selling it to people. Next thing you know, they're gonna be forcing people. So my job is just to give my people heads up, and that's pretty much it. It's up to you to, you know, look into it deeper, you know, read the Bible and stuff, but pass it on to you. That way I did my part. That's all. But have a blessed day, man. Thank you for listening to me. Stay blessed. But what it say? It says the Lord have sworn by the excellency of Jacob. It says, surely I will never forget any of their works. He's gonna remember you. He's gonna remember you, man. He's going to remember you. He's going to remember me. He's going to remember those of them that tried to stand up and I was fighting. He's going to remember, definitely going to remember the ones that took the forefront and pushed the truth to where it is right now. It's not that it's not that the whole world haven't heard of it. They've heard of it. It's just that it's a lot of our people that ignore it, that don't believe it. They don't really care. They go on about their days, and despite everything that's happening around them, they still haven't came back to the Lord, And everything is literally happening. You got the World War III, you got the beast system, you got the famines and everything being set in place. You got the different laws that's being passed so these people can stay in power, but they want to keep us oppressed so they can rebuild their golden cities or, keep us oppressed and destroy us. You got all these things happening. You got the supremacy that's on the rise. They wait to their last stand because they think that they can survive a fight between the Israelites and the Lord. They're not going to be able to survive that, but this is their last stand to be in power, You even got the people that's taking the side to the Israelites. Like, you know what? They've been tortured enough. This is enough, man. We had enough. They went through enough hell. It's a lot of white people that's standing up for us, man. It's a lot of white people that acknowledge and know who we are. They know the end game. They accept their service. They accept their slavery. They accept the punishment because we had to. So now it's their turn. But it's not to say that the Lord ain't going to have no mercy. He's going to have mercy on them too. He's going to have mercy on them, man. But the rest of this wickedness, it got to go. But it says, shall not the land tremble for this? It says, and everyone mourn that dwelleth therein. And it shall rise up wholly as a flood. And it shall be cast out and drowned as by the flood of Egypt. Meaning that this is going to be an overwhelming war. The white man is going to send everything that he got. He's going to send everything that he got. He's going to send his full arsenal. He's going to send the best of his weaponry. He's going to send the best of his soldiers to come at Israel. And like Yahweh said, Israel, thou art my battle axe. Come on now. You got so many Israelites, like the people were saying on the internet, they compare the Israelites to Viltrumites. They compare the Israelites to angels, man. They compare the Israelites to Superman. So how in the hell is y'all going to be able to beat them in an absolute war when just 10 of these Israelites against 30 to 40 of these Edomites? If you don't have no weapons in your hands, they gonna work you. And I'm talking about some of the buffest Israelites you ever seen. Come on now, it's Israelites that's 6-7 feet tall. You got Israelites that's weighing 400 or 500 pounds of just pure muscle. You got Israelites that are able and muscular than the average Edomite, and they old, bro. You got 70-year-old Israelites that are 15 to 12% body fat that are extremely ripped, bro. They take care of themselves, man. And as many of us, even the weakest of us, are extremely strong, and that's exactly what the governments are noticing. Like, man, they becoming too strong by the privileges that we gave them. We need to take all these privileges away. We need to make certain laws passed to where we got to keep them suppressed, but it won't work. Because like Yahweh said, affliction shall not rise a second time. It ain't happening, man. These Israelites, it's too many of them. You ain't going to be able to... The funny part about it is that they under a system they could have been overthrew. But they can't do it without Yahweh. They can't do it without the Lord. They can't do it without being connected to their power. Because if that was possible, it would have been done already. No, they can't do that. They got to free their minds first. They got to go back to Yahweh. They got to renew themselves. They got to put off the old man, put on the new man. Not easy. Hard to do, but it has to be done. And if you don't do it and you can't do it, now look at where we at because we haven't did it. We still this white man prepared to go hard on us. We still in oppression right now. Ain't nothing changed over. We ain't overthrew no governments, nothing. Because we don't have the power. We don't have Yahweh with us. So there's that, So it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in the clear day. So there's the eclipses. You got the eclipses, and then you got the explosions. It's just going to cover the sun. The sun, you ain't going to be able to see much. That's what he's talking about. Or he could be talking about, because the sun represent knowledge too. You know, he could be talking about that too. Like, you know, a lot of people ain't even gonna know what's going on. They ain't even gonna know what's happening. So it says, and I will turn your feast into mourning and all your songs into lamentation, and I will bring up sackcloth upon all your loins and baldness upon every head, and I will make it as the morning of an only son, and the end thereof as a bitter day. So that's what he's giving a warning to the Edomites that's reading his Bible. It says, and behold, the days come that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst for water, but a hearing of the words of the Lord. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. And that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. That's the rest of the Israelites that are going to be left behind. They are going to starve to death. They are going to die from the famine. They're going to die from the sword. They're going to die from these things because they had to suffer a punishment because they didn't want salvation. So now you don't have Yahweh Shai for the sacrifice, which is the lamb. So now what are you going to sacrifice in exchange for your life, in exchange for you to live? You don't have nothing to sacrifice. So the only sacrifice you can give is your life, and that is your judgment. You don't have nothing to sacrifice, anything to absolve you of your sins. You don't have anything to give Yahweh. And the only thing that you can give Yahweh is the blood of Yahweh Shai, the blood of the lamb, to show that you're covered. And once you cover, you're going to be like, well, he did die for y'all. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to let you live. I'm going to spare your life because you acknowledge me and you acknowledge my son. You surrender. That's the perfect surrender. And you join the new covenant. You join our side. So it's like, okay, I'll let you live. You got to, nothing is free in this world. That's another thing. Nothing is free. The Lord even do business. He's a businessman. You got to give something in order for him to give something to you. There is an exchangement for everything, and there's a price to pay for it all. Whether it be light or it be heavy, whether it be big or small, it's a price for everything. And nothing is free, man. Nothing is free, okay? So I'm going to read the last of this, and I'm going to close out. It says that they swear by sin of Samaria and say, thy God, O Dan, liveth. It says, in the manner of Bathsheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. He's talking about America. He's talking about the Edomites. Even when they acknowledged the Lord still made sure that they were never to rise again. That's going to be one of the, since Israel is the one of the 18 nations that are taken off the map. Now it's going to be the Edomites that's going to be taken off the map. They're not going to be the nation that's going to be rebuilt after the new world is set in. Their nation ain't going to be rebuilt. The Lord is going to take them and remove them from the wheel, you know, the wheel of life, from the earth. And he going to repurpose them to do something else probably. You know, because the Lord, he do value life, but the Bible don't say what's going to happen to all the white people when the Lord decide to do away with them. But I don't think he going to just get rid of their spirit. He might repurpose them, you know, for something else, you know, because they played their role and they completed their role. So, and that's just what it is. But with that being said, like I said, they shall never rise up again. They the only nation that's not going to be rebuilt. They the only nation that's not going to see the new world. Like, they're going to help build the new world, but they're not going to be able to live and truly enjoy the splendor of it all. They're not going to be able to live. They're not going to be able to have it. You know, the rest of the 18 nations going to have mercy, but not Esau, Edom, not the white man. He's not going to have no mercy. You know, so I'm going to get that for my last verse, and then I'm out of here. And this is his word. This is a promise. And when he says it, it's a command too. So it's not going to return null and void. It's not. So it says Amos 1, chapter 1, verse 11. It says, thus saith Yahweh, for the 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. It says, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So with that, that's exactly what he do unto others is shall be done unto you. It shall be done unto you. So it's like I say, he that leadeth captivity shall go into captivity. He that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what it is, man. What goes around comes around, and the Lord is going to make due on his promise. And with that, calling Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakodash, in the name Yahushai. I guess I'm going to name this title Famine of the Word, because a lot of people have heard of it, but they're not accepting it. They're not receiving it. And it's very few people that's going to listen. And it's very few people that's going to actually take heed and get into their studies and, acknowledge Yahweh and come into the new covenant. They just not. And with that, calling Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, in the name Yahushai, Shalom.